A dream that started in 2003, and after 2 decades, it seemed like it would remain a dream up until 2 years ago when everything changed. What changed? Find out as I'll be assessing Eko Atlantic City and how it has managed to regain its mojo in just 2 years after decades of what seemed like a tall order. From what is to be the largest mall in Africa, the most expensive secondary school in Nigeria, and the largest and most expensive embassy in the world. See, this US embassy will be the largest US embassy anywhere in the world. I mean, the largest is not in the UK, it's not in Russia, it's not in China, it's in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. These are the pillars of the new Eko Atlantic City. Keep watching. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Afam. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always being here. Today I'm currently in Eko Atlantic, and as you can see, this is Eko Atlantic. These are some of the buildings that are springing up. That's Eko Pier there. For the past 2 years or thereabouts, I don't know what has happened, because I've been saying that it has been abandoned for a long time, but a lot of buildings are springing up in a very short time. You know, we have, see the building I showed you, see that one, that building, see that one. There are a lot of buildings, springing up, and people are wondering, why is it happening? I don't know what has happened in the last 2 years that is making a lot of, buildings. We have the US embassy coming up. That will probably be the most expensive US embassy in Africa. I think so. We have the Rugby schools, one of the most expensive schools in the world, and it's probably be the most expensive school here in Nigeria. Also almost completed. And come, let me show you. And we have that's the Orca Mall. I don't know if you can see it. Let's go. Yeah, so that's the Orca Mall. Is built to be the largest mall in, not just in Lagos, in Nigeria, not just in Nigeria, in West Africa, and probably one of the largest in Africa. That is it, Orca Mall. I'm going to go in there to show you what it looks like, but this is what it looks like. It's humongous. It's in Eko Atlantic. So all these buildings, amongst other buildings, are springing up in Eko Atlantic. And I don't know if you've heard, Nigerian musician Davido has land here in Eko Atlantic, and he's currently constructing his own personal house. I also heard that Burna Boy as well is constructing a building. So these are the things that are going on in Eko Atlantic. Very fast, in the space of 2 years, a lot has happened. So I'm going to be going around to show you a few of these things, that are springing up in Eko Atlantic. Let's go check out our first structure, which is the first mall in Eko Atlantic City. Okay, so I'm currently in front of the Orca Mall, very huge mall, and you can enter Orca Mall from, this is the Ahmadu Bello way. There's an entrance here, and there's also an entrance from inside the Eko Atlantic. So you can come through it that way and make it. I'm going to try to see if I can get inside and see what inside looks like. As you can see, construction is still happening here, but the mall is about 90% finished and is almost ready to open. This place is really massive. How big it is. We are currently on the second floor. I think you have several floors. I don't know the exact number, but you have several floors here. It's the back of Orca Mall. You see how big it is. It starts from here all the way to that place, and construction is actually still going on. As you can see, it's not yet completed yet. But the thing is that if you go inside, you realize that everything that they want to sell is actually already inside. But I think they are doing finishing touches to the exterior of the mall. That building is one of the most expensive schools in Nigeria, and it's one of the new buildings here in Eko Atlantic. See, that's the Rugby school. Wow, this area is still under construction. Let's see if we can get in. So guys, this is the Rugby school. This is the entrance to the Rugby school. It's a beautiful school, but I was not able to go in because they said there's a protocol to entering the school, and because I want to show you guys what the school looks like. So what I'll do is I'll go through the protocol and see if I can get permission to come and to get inside and show you what the school looks like. So I will do an entire video on Rugby school. Like I said, that is the Rugby school. Rugby school, it's actually called Rugby school, R-U-G-B-Y, Rugby school. And beside it is going to be the headquarters of Airtel Nigeria. So Airtel Nigeria is moving their headquarters here. A lot of companies actually moving their headquarters to Eko Atlantic, and they're currently doing the piling, before they start constructing the building. A lot of buildings, I even heard First Bank is also going to have their headquarters currently under construction here. A lot of companies like that are moving to Eko Atlantic. Waiting to see, so we are watching what will become of, Airtel, this building. We're going to see what it's going to look like. I don't know when they are going to start fully and when they're going to complete the building, but we'll be watching. And the sun in Eko Atlantic is crazy, and that's because there are no trees yet, or let me say the trees are not grown yet. You can see these trees. I think these ones were just planted recently. But if you go to the right part of Eko Atlantic, you will see that some of the trees have grown higher than this. Like it's beginning to look like a shade. You understand? But these ones are still growing, and by the time these trees are grown, you will see that this entire boulevard, will be covered in trees, and this place will look more beautiful. In fact, those trees have even grown more than these trees. You see, this one is not planted probably just a few days ago. By the time they are done with these trees, this entire avenue, boulevard, or whatever you call it, is going to be lined with trees. It's going to look so beautiful. We're still in the early days. I give Eko Atlantic 5 to 10 years. You're going to see what the street is supposed to look like. Okay, so guys, you're wondering where this place is in Eko Atlantic. This is the dirt road. It's one of the areas that have not been hard because it's one of the newer parts of Eko Atlantic. As you can see, there are new constructions going on here. I think this is I don't know what this is. That's the American embassy down there. So this road is yet, unlike other parts of Eko Atlantic, this area has not been tarred. It's still undergoing construction. Yeah, so behind me is the US embassy. That's the building there. I don't know if you can see it. That's the US embassy. So the US embassy, this US embassy will be the largest US embassy anywhere in the world. The largest is not in the UK, it's not in Russia, it's not in China, it's in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. There's currently a US embassy in VI, not too far from here, but this will be the new US embassy, and is worth over $500 million. That's what they are sinking into that building you're seeing there. You understand? In fact, I heard that because the US embassy is coming to Eko Atlantic, there's a law that you cannot build a certain height of building around it for security purpose. The US embassy is one of the most secure buildings anywhere in the world. The US embassy is scheduled to be completed in 2027. So by 2027, this will be the new US embassy in Nigeria. I can't wait to see what it will look like. Until then, here's another building also springing up. I don't know what it's going to be. Guys, there are a lot of buildings springing up everywhere. A lot of construction going on. Especially in this part of the Eko Atlantic. I think the other part of the Eko Atlantic is where you have Eko Pearl and other buildings. Those places look like they have some construction that have happened there already. But you see this area, I'm still seeing the Rugby school. This entire area is a construction site. It's actually the dream of a lot of people to live in Eko Atlantic, and guys, the cost of land here is massive. You know, for example, actually there are different sections in Eko Atlantic. You know, there are areas for residential, areas for commercial, areas for a lot of things, and you know the prices vary. You know, for example, the lowest you can buy land here in Eko Atlantic is for 2 billion. That's the cheapest you can buy a plot of land. You can go as high as 25 billion to buy a piece of land here in Eko Atlantic, depending on the section you're buying the land. See, there's still a lot of empty land here. There are a lot of empty lands here, you know, and I'm sure that, you know, a lot of these lands are currently being bought by a lot of people. And I don't know, like I said, in the last 2 years, a lot has been happening. I don't know. If you know, tell me in the comment section. Let me know. You know, what has been happening in the last 2 years. Some people are alluding to the fact that maybe the current president is responsible for it because, you know, he kind of has, you know, a stake. I don't know. I won't call it a stake. Like, he has an interest in Eko Atlantic, and maybe that is why a lot of people are keen into Eko Atlantic. I'm not sure. If you know, just let me know in the comment section. If so much change can happen in just 2 years, imagine Eko Atlantic City 5 to 10 years from now. Only time will tell. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.